So I just want to go over a few things from the start of this particular unit, which is changing settlements in the UK. So really the first things that we've looked at are the contrast between different urban areas within the UK, and we looked at the case study of Liverpool and London and compared those cities and how their populations have changed over time. Basically, we decided that Liverpool had declined, and the main reason for its decline was that it was so reliant on one particular industry, which was shipping and the associated industries. So when we started to import more things from Europe, the port started to decline because it was on the wrong side of Britain, and also containerization meant that less people needed to be employed, so that led to large unemployment and then started the cycle of deprivation and the negative multiplier effect, which you really are quite familiar with. In addition to that, the sort of local council and government made a few mistakes really. They thought that it'd be a good idea to try and remove the low grade houses, the sort of slum areas in the centre, which seems like a really good idea, but all that actually did was separate the communities and kind of cause divisiveness. And as a result, people were forced to move, they were unhappy, and they left the city altogether. This then combined with the fact that cities like London actually had more employment opportunities meant that people left Liverpool for London. If we think about London, this was always going to have ups and downs in terms of population, with people moving to the area for economic reasons, but also leaving the area for things like pollution, overcrowding, high expensive rates in terms of accommodation. However, because it's the capital city, it's always going to attract more investment in terms of industries and business. As the northern cities start to decline, sort of mid 1900s to late 1900s, they went to London because that's where the opportunities were. It's always going to have tourism, which is going to always provide jobs, especially sort of lower paid jobs, and then it's going to have the finance and the banking area, which is going to provide really high skilled jobs and well paid jobs. Also, it's got really good transport links and lots of services, and these things attract people, and it's always kind of been in that sort of cycle of growth or the positive multiplier. But we also looked at London and saw that there are some areas that are deprived with multiple deprivation, and that's things like high unemployment, poor healthcare, poor education, high crime rates, those sort of things. Newham's the example of that, and some areas that are really good, like Richmond. Generally speaking, the more deprived areas are in the centre where the old industry would be, and in the case of London, it was also sort of port work and shipping like Liverpool. Those areas declined, went into the negative multiplier or the cycle of deprivation. This resulted in people moving out of the area, high unemployment. High unemployment leads to lack of taxes in the area. Lack of taxes means that there's less money to spend on education. There's higher crime rates. And again, you know about that. But they've really tried to regenerate that area. And the Olympics is a good example. Also, before that, they sort of regenerated the docks area, and Canary Wharf's a good example. And we can think about some of the good and the bad points of those as well. Some people would argue that all the regeneration has been sort of expensive properties, waterfront properties, and some of those in the area that was very deprived now go for millions of pounds. But then there's the real success story of the Olympics. It provided employment while people constructed it. It also provides jobs long-term, working in the sporting facilities and the associated services round. It's massively increased the transport infrastructure, making it a very desirable place to live. This then has created the positive multiplier. It's also produced some more affordable housing, 5 different communities. It's produced some better sporting facilities to help people's health and leisure and fitness. And it's also provided the largest park in a city in the last 150 years, which provides a nice open space for people to go and starts to make people feel more valued and feel that the area that they live in is more valuable and worthwhile. So that kind of covers the main things. Really, we started off by looking at the contrasting cities, why areas decline and why areas prosper, and then we looked at differences within cities as well, and London's a good example for that.